When it comes to watch collection, there are 5 stages, but only 80% of the people go even to the 4th stage. If you want to know which stage you're in, watch the video till the end. Hi watch buddies, welcome back to Nishant's Brisk Game. Today's video is very interesting. Watch collecting is not just another hobby. It's one of the most niche, expensive and time consuming hobbies you can ever find. And it's not for the faint of heart. But if you have to break it down, you have 5 stages when it comes to watch collecting, and there's also a 6th stage which only 1% of the people in the world actually go through. Let's start with stage 1. Here your mindset is to buy a good watch. You would not know about any watches out there or any brands as such. Even a fashion watch would excite you. Then you go to your family or friends and they tell you a few names like Casio, Seiko, Citizen and Orient. You might not know much about it. You just go to YouTube and search the brand name and they would show you a few watches of that brand. And the most important thing for you at this point is the watch needs to look good. It needs to be cheap. It needs to have good brand value and service. So you end up choosing your mind between a watch. So you feel like, okay, I'm going to buy a good watch at least. And you buy a Casio F91W or a AE1200 or a G-Shock. And then you start to ponder, is there any other watch out there? If you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new to this channel. Hi, I'm Nishant and welcome to Nishant's Brisk Game, a channel dedicated to watch enthusiasts. Don't forget to hype this video as it reaches more people and helps the channel as well. Let's get back to stage 2. This stage is the most time consuming as well as fun part when it comes to watch collecting. Here, money is not the limit for you. Your mindset would be like, what does this watch world has to offer me? When you started, you would only have one brand in your mind, but you would want to buy all the others in this stage. You would have a diver, you would have a GMT, you would have an automatic, and you'll be researching about automatic versus quartz, and you'll have a solar watch, and you'll be thinking which brand is the best. You would have one in Seiko, Citizen, Tissot, and even DWC or Bangalore Watch Company or any other micro brand. So name any brand, you would have at least one watch in that. And your collection from a one watch would become 10 by this time, and you would not occasionally sell any watch because you feel like all the other watches you have has sentimental value. You would not stop at any cost. It's not that obsession, but something similar when it comes to you and your watches. Your mindset would be, I need this one, and you will never stop till you get that watch. Now, budget would never be a problem for you. If you need a Rolex, you would make your mind to buy that Rolex as soon as possible, in spite of the wait time with which you cannot do anything. If you want an Omega, you would buy an Omega. And you won't think that you're buying a similar watch of the same category. You might have 4 G-Shocks, 4 limited editions, 5 GMTs, 5 divers. Your watch case is the limit. And you would also start buying watch cases and accessories for your watch collection because you need to store them anyways, right? And this stage is one of the most dangerous stages as well. You won't know the limit of what you are. It's almost similar to gambling. You would just keep buying watches whatsoever. And in this stage as well, the older watches you bought already would exit the collection because you need to fund for a new watch. So you sell 5 watches or 6 watches and buy one watch. This stage is a more refined stage when it comes to watch collecting, and most of the people would try to sell their older watches at this time. Maybe loss or not, it might not go as much as you expected, but here reality hits. You would not want a watch which you're not wearing for a very long time to be in your collection. By this stage, you would have had at least 30 to 40 watches in your collection, and you would try to reduce that to 10 or maybe 15, but your mind will be fixed to a few watches which you don't wear. And you would think that I don't need this in my collection and you need to sell it. And when you're trying to sell these watches, you realize that you did not make any money. You just lost it. So you would have bought a watch for 50,000, an automatic watch. But when you try to sell it, they would ask the watch for about 25,000 or 20,000. You'd feel like, should I actually sell this watch or should I keep it because it's not going anywhere? That dilemma comes. But sometimes you would just feel like, I just need to get rid of these watches to actually make money for a better watch, or these are not in my list anymore. Your mindset would be, this doesn't belong here anymore. And you try to filter how many other watches you can to make the collection smaller and more meaningful. This is the most true stage when it comes to watch collecting, and 90% of the people don't even come to this stage unless they're above 50. In this stage, your mindset would be like, I'm building a collection for myself and I'm not accumulating watches. You would have started with one watch, and by this stage your watch would be 15, and when you start into the collector mode, you would want your watch to be 5 or 10 at the max. So what you would probably do is try to sell most of the watches you have in the collection, but not for buying another watch, but to keep your collection as personal to you as possible. Your interest would have been changed by now. You wouldn't chase for a Rolex, you won't change for a Patek, you won't chase for a Vacheron, but the watch which you bought first would be your prominent watch. 5 lakh or 10 lakh rupees watch wouldn't excite you, but even a 2000 rupees watch you had in your collection would be meaningful to you and more personal. So this is where a true collector actually emerges when it comes to the watch world. He would have 10 watches, but none of them would be very expensive. It will be personal to him. So that is this stage, which is called the collector stage, and the most unknown stage to many watch collectors because they don't even go to this stage most of the time. There's also another thing which you would do during this stage. You would actually make online content or become a creator. People would want to know about your collection, but necessarily you wouldn't buy new watches, but you would just keep the watches you have or rotate them every day depending on your need. Maybe a diver, a field watch, or a dress watch. It's basically up to your taste and what you need, like a daily watch or something like that. So it would be a very personal collection to you, and it doesn't matter what other people would think about your collection. So it is that stage, and many people think that this is the final stage when it comes to watch collecting, but there is stage 6 which only 1% of the people in the world actually go through, and it's some people would even get angry because of this comment, but it's the truth. This is one of the most controversial stages when it comes to watch collecting, and it is very rare when it comes to people. In this stage, people can go two ways. Either they would end the collection or end their watch hobby forever, or they would start new. By this time, either you would have been fed up, you would just have the reason that I am going to wear a watch just to see the time. I don't want these many watches in my collection. So if there's something very personal to you, like your first watch, or your father gifted you this watch, or your spouse gave you this watch, or something of that category will only stay with you. Probably 3 or maximum 5 watches would be in your collection, and your thoughts about watches would stop. You would never buy a watch again. So that is one stage of the people, which is 0.5% of the people, and the other 0.5% people is at this time they would have enormous wealth to buy any watch they want. They would totally sell all of their watches in their collection and buy a 10 watch collection, which is in your wildest dreams. They would just buy any watch they want with the money, and they would start anew with all the knowledge they had from the past 5 stages. This is for the ultra rich and not necessarily for a normal person. This stage is far less explored, and I wouldn't want to go there either. So these were my thoughts about the 5 stages of watch collection. So let me know in the comments what are your thoughts about the stages of watch collection, and if you have a friend who's starting his watch journey, or you yourself are going to start your watch journey, comment down below which stage you are in. I'll see you next with another exciting video. Until then, peace out.